Welcome to Daily Tax Savings. This is Tony Novak here to share a few points on saving taxes and staying out of tax trouble. Let's jump right in. Today's topic is, or the title is, Every Problem is a Nail. And it comes from that saying, if you're a hammer, every problem is a nail. And I find that the same thing applies to the tax industry. And while I don't like to be critical of anybody, I do notice and do feel some criticism that whenever a tax problem surfaces, a tax pro is ready to respond with a tax code or a tax strategy or a technical answer to solve the problem. Uh, Fortunately, I feel blessed decades ago to have been trained with a broad approach where when I hear a problem, rather than jump into the solution, the approach is to take a step back, ask more questions, learn more about the client's life situation, the family, who else is involved in the decision, and the history of how it came to be as the problem is presented now. And example is I had a call this morning. It was I'd say a cold call lead, I guess you would say, a local person who was selling a property, and he just said his tax guy said he should look into a 1031 exchange to avoid taxes on the sale of a property. He was concerned about, and this was a mechanic, so he didn't have tax language precisely, but he was concerned about estate taxes because this was an inherited family house, and uh, income taxes. He didn't use the word, but capital gains taxes on the sale. But as we got into the conversation, and it was a low price person and a low income taxpayer, I said, look, nothing that we've indicated so far indicates that there's any tax. That doesn't mean that there won't be. We're not looking at the documents yet. I said, but nothing that we have uncovered yet indicates that there's any tax to even be considering a strategy. And by the way, the 1031 exchange is a far-fetched, uh, seldom successful approach, especially when proposed or thought of or introduced just weeks before the property settlement. It's just not going to happen that way. So, if nothing else, hopefully this guy felt a little bit more comfortable. And I said, look, go back to your tax guy and ask him, what makes you think that there are any taxes on this transaction? What makes you think that estate taxes come into play at all? And again, I don't want to be too critical of any tax person, but those are basic tax questions that I think every paid preparer should have be able to be conversant with. Would love to hear your thoughts, comments, feedback. I'm easy to reach on social media or reach me one-on-one at taxproblems.cpa. And I will be back tomorrow with another tax savings